a major mistake, and now he's under investigation by Congress. Yeah, that's right, guys. So House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan, he is now investigating whether evidence seized by the FBI in its raid on former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago home as a part of special counsel Jack Smith's classified records case was altered or even possibly manipulated. So you got Jack Smith and federal prosecutors recently admitted in a court filing that there are some boxes where the order of the items that are in the boxes were not the same as in the associated scans. But this is way different from what prosecutors had told the court earlier. Okay, so there's some inconsistencies here, maybe some perjury going on, who knows, which was that the documents were in their original intact form as seized. Not the case, guys. In fact, apart from this investigation into Jack Smith, a very strong solar storm, which is a burst of energy from the sun, has expected to reach Earth and is actually expected to have several effects over this weekend, possibly extending into next week. So the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or also known as NOAA, a government agency that monitors ocean and atmospheric conditions, they have issued a severe geomagnetic storm warning, signaling that this storm is unusually powerful. So I hope you guys are aware, this could lead to grid down scenarios, power outages, cellular and satellite service outages and disruptions. Think blackouts and stuff like that. So I hope you guys have your generators. If you have one, if you need, hopefully you won't need it. In most cases, people will be unaffected, but the threat does remain. NASA has actually issued a warning that this increase in radiation could also pose a risk to NASA's science satellites, particularly those with sensitive instruments. Now, NASA has also stated that the current solar storm does not pose any kind of a serious threat to the 7 astronauts that are currently aboard the International Space Station. So hopefully those guys will be good out there. Now, apart from the solar storm, President Joe Biden is in hot water because the Biden administration has paused shipments of ammunition and bombs to Israel to signal its concern over a possible ground operation in southern Gazan city of Rafah, which, by the way, has led to many recent talks of Joe Biden's impeachment. So it ain't looking good for the big guy. So the Republican-controlled House is preparing an intensive campaign against President Biden's very sensitive over President Joe Biden's decision to temporarily halt weapons transfer to Israel. Now, if you guys haven't already, please take a second, hit the like button for your boy. I totally appreciate you guys. I hope you guys are doing very well today. We got Mother's Day right around the corner. Actually, Mother's Day is tomorrow. I hope you guys have plans for the important mothers in your lives, and for the mothers that are watching the channel right now, happy Mother's Day. By the way, I want to thank you guys so much for your support. As always, thank you. I hope you guys are able to see and hear me okay. If you can, just drop a quick hello in the comments. And thank you so much for always sharing these videos on social media, sharing these videos with your friends. It really does help out the channel. I appreciate you guys' support. But yeah, so this involves President Biden's decision to temporarily halt weapons to Israel involves now a scheduled a vote, which is scheduled for next week on a legislative bill that's aimed at overriding Biden's administration's suspension of military aid that Congress had previously approved. So this is getting wild and wacky here, guys. In fact, this situation is particularly sensitive for the Democratic Party as it could reveal some internal divisions, not what they need going into the 2024 presidential elections. I think they're trying to give Donald Trump another win here. Do you guys support giving more military aid to Israel? Let me know in the comments down below what y'all think. So the House Majority Leader, Steve Scalise, he stated that the House will vote on the Israel Security Assistance Support Act as early as Wednesday this week, or coming up in like 3 or 4 days. So the act, it intends to prevent the administration from withholding military aid approved by Congress and demands the quick delivery of this particular amount of aid. Now, apart from Joe Biden, this also gave the U.S. District Eileen Cannon, the judge over Donald Trump's Florida classified documents case, enough evidence to scrap the trial for Donald Trump and his classified documents case back until after November the 5th, the November 5th election, as a matter of fact. And so in a 5-page scheduling order, this order was actually handed down just a few days ago. U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon wrote that fixing a trial date at this time would be imprudent and inconsistent with the court's duty to fully and fairly consider the various pending pretrial motions and additional pretrial and trial preparations necessary to present the case to a jury. Translation: not only is this mishandling of documents going to mean an investigation for your boy, special counsel Jack Smith, but it also means that it's probably not going to get his chance. He's probably not going to get a chance to prosecute Donald Trump like he had dreamed of doing so. So how about that, Mr. Jack Smith? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. But also another win for Donald Trump. House Republicans are moving to take down Biden. So right now, they're moving forward with a contempt of Congress charge against Attorney General Merrick Garland next week over his refusal to comply with a subpoena for audio recordings of President Biden's interview with former special counsel Robert Hur. So this particular subpoena is for the audio files of Biden's lengthy interview with Robert Hur as part of this former special counsel's investigation into the current president Joe Biden's handling of classified documents, specifically White House documents in this case, in late February by House Oversight Committee Chairman Jim Jordan and House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer. So it could turn out that, Biden could be the one facing a case about mishandling of classified documents. Well, it definitely looks like Donald Trump is making a court comeback in a major way here. So Donald Trump's classified document case is looking like it's going to be inevitably put on ice, and it looks like Biden's classified documents case looks like it's about to be thawed out and thoroughly investigated. So big win for Donald and a big loss for Mr. Biden. Now, this is not just in the classified documents case where Donald Trump's making headway. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump and his crack defense team, they have just announced that they're filing a motion to appeal what they're calling the unconstitutional gag order that was imposed on former President Donald Trump, restricting what he can publicly say about the case. Yeah, so this kind of is looking like a slap to the face of Judge Juan Merchan as well. Yeah. So anyway, according to our former president, many good things are actually going on with the case, especially since it shouldn't have been filed in the first place. But what do you guys think? Should the case against Donald Trump have been even filed in the first place? I mean, and more importantly, are they going to drop Donald Trump's charges any day now? Me personally, I think they're going to be forced to. But first, House Representative Jim Jordan launching his investigation into special counsel Jack Smith. Now, you definitely got to appreciate the irony on this one, guys. Check this one out. Let's see.
Also breaking tonight, House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan of Ohio has announced an investigation into the special counsel Jack Smith after a shocking filing from his office on Friday revealed that documents seized from Mar-a-Lago are no longer in the same order or sequence. The filing included a footnote reading, quote, "The government acknowledges that this is inconsistent with what the government counsel previously understood and represented to the court." Here with more, House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan. What would you call this, Jim Jordan?
Jack
I'm wondering
is in trouble.
if the issue of whether or not the evidence has been tainted is now front and center in the case in Florida.
Yeah, the order of the documents seized was changed. That one sentence says it all. Most people would call that tampering with evidence. The physical documents didn't match up with the scanned documents. And here's the irony, Sean. This is Jack Smith mishandling the very documents that he's charging President Trump with mishandling. Go figure. I mean, that to me is the ultimate irony here. Not to mention, of course, the double standard. We had Robert Hur 6 weeks ago in front of our committee. Robert Hur said Joe Biden met the elements of the crime. He knowingly kept, knowingly disclosed classified information. But he wasn't charged because he says he was a forgetful old man. And we also established motive. Robert Hur said on page 231 of his report, Joe Biden had strong motivations for ignoring classified procedures because he was writing a book.
Wow. Wow. I mean, you guys see the irony here? Like, I freaking love this. Comment down below if you guys love this crap, right? So Jack Smith, he's now under investigation for mishandling the classified documents, the very same thing that he's been trying to get Donald Trump for this whole time. Unbelievable. Like, this literally backfired in every aspect of the case. So this is the reason why a lot of people are just saying how sick they are of what they see as this crooked administration. This Joe Biden witch hunt after Donald Trump, right? I mean, like, some are even calling for the arrest of Jack Smith and several other DAs who have gone after Donald Trump. And I mean, they're talking about arresting them now, not later, guys. Well, I guess this House Judiciary Committee investigation is a good start, right? So, yeah, you got committee chairman Jim Jordan. He sent a letter to the Office of Professional Responsibility just recently after Jack Smith admitted that seized documents are no longer in their original order, and they're not in their original sequence, to be exact. So Smith and his team admitted that there are some boxes where, hey, the order of the items that are within the box are not the same as in the associated scans. But the plot gets thicker when we realize that the prosecutors that had previously told the court that the documents were in their original intact form as seized, they apparently lied. So, as the filing said, this is inconsistent with what the government counsel previously understood and represented to the court. Man. So Jim Jordan, in his letter, he said that the acknowledgement presents grave concerns about the Justice Department's commitment to impartial justice, whether the special counsel's office misled a federal court, which certainly looks like it, whether the special counsel's office strenuously upheld the highest professional standards of the Department of Justice. I mean, like, so Jim Jordan is now asking the DOJ's Office of Professional Responsibility to hold accountable attorneys who may have violated the standards. I mean, Jim Jordan is literally demanding that the office produce all documents and records referring to or relating to any allegation of ethical impropriety regarding Jack Smith, top prosecutor Jay Bratt, or any other attorney that's assigned to the special counsel's office. So just like they're now probing and investigating Fani Willis, they're probing and investigating Jack Smith and his entire office too. So now Jim Jordan, he's also requesting all documents and records related to the manipulation of the documents that were seized from Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence back in October 2022, among others, by May 20th. So they've got 9 days to get that in, meaning a delay in Donald Trump's classified documents case is probably going to be way beyond the election day. Because we're talking like a whole lot of documents here. The FBI, the FBI agents, they seized 33 boxes of documents in August 2022 from Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, which was, by the way, that was just the start of the legal battle that Donald Trump has called a scam from the very beginning. And so overseeing this investigation is Special Prosecutor Jack Smith, who Attorney General Merrick Garland appointed for the job. And he also charged Donald Trump with 40 felony counts, including allegedly violating the Espionage Act, making false statements to investigators, and conspiracy to obstruct justice. Possibly all things that he could eventually face himself if the House investigation finds him guilty of anything. Now, already, former President Donald Trump is calling for Jack Smith's arrest. That's right, you heard it, guys. Trump is calling for Jack Smith to be arrested. He said on Truth Social now, deranged Jack has admitted in a filing in front of Judge Cannon to what Trump has been saying happened since the illegal raid on my home, Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, that he and his team committed blatant evidence tampering by mishandling the very boxes that they are using as a pretext to bring this fake case. Can you believe this, guys? These deeply illegal actions by the politicized persecutors mandate that this whole witch hunt be dropped immediately. And the boxes hoax, and the boxes hoaxes, MAGA 2024. And then he ended the post by saying, arrest deranged Jack Smith, he is a criminal. You can't make this stuff up, folks. You just can't. This is this is the society that we're living in now, guys. Can you believe this? Like, what do y'all think about all this craziness going on here? But yeah, so let me see what you see. Hope you guys are doing well this morning in the comments. Just check on you guys, see if you guys are alive and with me. I hope you guys are able to see and hear me. I don't even know if you are. Shoot, I might be having some technical difficulties with this whole solar storm going on here. Yeah, that's right. Because a lot of my comments were not coming in. No wonder. So number one, I want to just say, Laura Goodwin, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for hitting the join button and becoming a loving sponsor of Ron. Appreciate your support for the channel and for the cause and for getting the truth out here. Apparently you're a truth seeker, and I really appreciate you and your support, Laura. Tim Bellwood, thank you so much, my friend, for the $20 super chat. Good Lord. Tim Bellwood says, Ron, keep it up. Love your work. Tim, St. Augustine, Florida. Love Florida, man. Can't wait to visit soon enough. It's about that time. I love this time of year. Anyway, and by the way, Laura Goodwin, if you happen to be a mom, happy Mother's Day tomorrow. And for all the moms in here, happy Mother's Day. Everyone, just say happy Mother's Day to everyone. Just share the good Mother's Day spirit. Anyway, so going back to what we were talking about. Trump says on Truth Social that Jack Smith is a criminal. How many of you guys agree with Donald Trump on that one? Now, behind him 100% are his millions of supporters, many of whom are saying that they don't care what they do to Donald Trump. They just don't care. They will still vote for him no matter what. So this is seemingly the general consensus of people who are fans of Trump. I'll just leave it at that, right? Because all this controversy over Jack Smith's handling of these classified documents, U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon decided that fixing a trial date at this time would just be imprudent, and it would also be inconsistent with the court's duty to fully and fairly consider the various pending pretrial motions and additional pretrial and trial preparations necessary in order to present this case to the jury. Bottom line, they just got an extension on their court case against Donald Trump to probably well beyond Election Day. So Jack Smith, he can go ahead and suck it. Anyway, so now he just needs to deal with these other cases, right? And Donald Trump's got a lot of them. In total, Trump is facing like 88 counts spanning 4 indictments, though it is unlikely that any of these other cases actually reach a trial before Election Day. So Trump is currently facing trial in Manhattan, technically on a 34-count indictment charging him with falsifying business records to conceal hush money payments to 2 women, Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal. In a separate case, the Supreme Court is actually weighing the arguments that Donald Trump is immune from federal prosecution in a separate case brought by Jack Smith, which is charging him with unlawfully conspiring to remain in power following his 2020 election loss. Meanwhile, in spite of all this nonsense that's going on, you got a 10-count indictment against Donald Trump for alleged 2020 election tampering going on in Georgia right now, brought to you by your favorite DA Fannie Willis and Nathan Wade. Jesus, right? I mean, and that doesn't have a start date either. So it's like, man, like the list goes on and on and on. What's up, Catalia? I see you in the comments. Let's see. Richie Boss says Stormy Daniels has had more Heinz ketchup. Wait, more. Excuse me. Stormy Daniel has had more hot dogs than Heinz ketchup. Jesus. Oh man. But should Trump actually succeed in delaying the remainder of his trial until the election and actually win back the presidency? Well, he could literally have the authority to instruct the DOJ, the Justice Department, to call off Jack Smith's prosecutions. So really, it's kind of like all down. I say it like it's so easy to do. All you got to do is become president, and all your problems go away. Right? But seriously, all he's got to do is become president of the United States again, and then basically all his problems go away. All these court cases, for the most part, would be effectively removed. And so, that would be something to see. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about that? Donald Trump getting back in the presidential Oval Office. Oh man, can you just? I can almost just see how salty and angry the whole left Democratic side would be. Joe Biden, everybody would be mad and scared at the same time. That would be rather interesting. I'm just really curious to see how that would actually pan out, because you already know there's going to be a massive clean house if Donald Trump actually regains presidency. And just think about all the people who have been screwing him over the years, and especially as of late, and how he's going to respond to all that behavior. So anyway, but apart from that, former President Donald Trump, he announced that his defense team in the New York versus Donald Trump case, has filed a motion to appeal the unconstitutional gag order that was imposed on him, essentially restricting what he can and cannot say to the public. So, yeah. So, and as Donald Trump said, many good things are going on with this case, especially since it shouldn't have been filed in the first place, according to Donald Trump. But of course, you wouldn't be able to hear most of these good things because they got a gag order on him. They don't want him saying anything. You see, Trump, he's under a gag order that prevents him from making or directing others to make public statements about witnesses and their potential participation, or even their remarks about court staff. And of course, not to mention DA staff, family members of staff. I mean, he really can't say anything about anyone. And the judge in this case has ruled that Donald Trump has violated this order like 10 times, resulting in a total of like $10,000 in fines, threatening Donald Trump with jail time if he continues to violate the order. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, this madness here, right? Meanwhile, all these other witnesses and other clowns, associated clowns, can attack Donald Trump, and he just can't say anything. Go figure, right? This is also election. This is during an election, by the way, that this gag order has been placed on him. Literally, just spitting in the face of the First Amendment. So that has been stripped away from Donald Trump. Trump has also shared some commentary. On the case from legal scholars such as Alan Dershowitz and Jonathan Turley. And he quoted George Washington University law school professor Jonathan Turley saying that this is a Frankenstein case. And it really is when you think about it. So they took a dead misdemeanor and then they attached it to a dead, allegedly federal felony, and then zapped it back to life, right? Because the misdemeanor in and of itself would have been dead, 6 or 8 years ago, but they brought it back to life by attaching this federal felony, which is outside their jurisdiction anyway. It doesn't make any sense. So many of us are just like amazed to watch this actually walk into court, because it's not a recognizable crime that any of us have ever seen. Former Harvard Law School professor Alan Dershowitz, for his part, he's saying that they've been doing this for 60 years, and he doesn't understand what Donald Trump's actually been charged with. And this is an attorney he's been an attorney for 60 years doing this stuff. He's never seen anything like it. They don't know what Donald Trump's being charged with. Like, again, this is a sham. This is This is a divisive, unlawful, lawfare method of keeping Trump off the campaign trail, and it's working from keeping him off the campaign trail as much, but it's backfiring tremendously in the polls. And you can look at the polls. Even CNN is showing how badly Biden is losing to Trump. It's unbelievable in spite of all of this. In fact, this may actually be helping him, believe it or not. So go figure, right? But there's no evidence whatsoever of any crime against Donald Trump. So it's kind of crazy. And the same thing for Donald Trump's case in Georgia being prosecuted by Fulton County DA Fani Willis. Legal experts are saying that it should be dismissed immediately. Yeah, so then you got President Joe Biden, who could be facing his own legal problems pretty soon, as the House Republicans are planning contempt of Congress charges against Attorney General Merrick Garland over his refusal to comply with a subpoena for audio recordings of President Biden's interview with former special counsel Robert Hur. And so basically, Garland was issued a subpoena for the audio files of Biden's lengthy interview with Hur as a part of the former special counsel's investigation into the president's handling of classified White House documents in late February by House Oversight Committee Chairman Jim Jordan and House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer. Now, this was the same interview where Joe Biden confused the key dates, like which year his son Beau died of brain cancer and the year that Donald Trump was elected president. Go figure. So Robert Hur, he submitted a 388-page bombshell report on the interview where he said a jury would probably perceive Biden, the oldest president in U.S. history, as a sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. At the same time, Robert Hur also noted in the report that Biden willfully retained and disclosed classified materials, but their team concluded there wasn't enough to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. So, but this is the same guy that folks want back in the office. You know, he's got dementia, he's got a poor memory, he's the oldest president in history, but yet you're campaigning to get this guy back in the office. How is that your defense? And also at the same time, that's your key selling point. How do you do both? I don't know. So now the question is this the kind of man that you really want to see president of the United States come November? I mean, you got to ask yourself this, right? I mean, actually, here's a better question for you guys. What do you think of Biden? Do you think he's connected to all of these investigations and the trials against former President Donald Trump? Let me know, guys. Laura Goodwin. I wish I could have been in New Jersey for Trump's rally. Let's see. Dementia Joe's got to go. Appreciate you, Zeke Sanchez. Richie Best says, yep, no doubt. Yeah, Catalia, thank you so much, guys. Catalia says, please show Ron some love and smash that like button. Please, guys, do it. Smash the like button. Smash the like button like there's no tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. Get the truth out here. The truth hurts, but the truth will also set you and Donald Trump free. Anyway, guys, thanks for rocking with me. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, for sharing these videos with your friends and family. And I'll see you on the next one. Happy Mother's Day, or tomorrow.